Russo-rific booking on display. I'm John Retlin with a retro review of WCW Thunder for September 20th, 2000. Getting closer, ever so close, to Vince Russo winning the WCW World title. Can't hardly wait. In fact, put that on a 24-hour loop and I will watch that instead of watching Vince Russo win the world title, even though Can't Hardly Wait would get very boring to me after the first 3 times. Have no idea why I took a shot at that movie that was endearing and had a pretty good cast. But anyway, yeah, Russo was all over this show. So were Scott Steiner and Jeff Jarrett. This show was not good. This show was not good at all. At times, Thunder was okay, but really was, just taking place in a vacuum. And also was the most unnecessary mainstream wrestling program that there ever was, at least in the last 25 years. Russo and his security are there. He talks about his upcoming title match. Says Booker has a night off. Russo, however, is bound and determined to prove himself and will have a tune-up match tonight against a really great talent. And then berates Stevie Ray, who's upset at Russo while on commentary. And then says, hey, Stevie, the ramp's too good for you. You need to fucking go out the other way. So just leave. Won't come back to bite Russo at all. And then Scott Steiner and Jeff Jarrett show up at the arena, lay out the security. Russo tries to mace Scott Steiner. Doesn't fucking work because he aimed at his face, and also he was wearing sunglasses. Not just at night, but in the arena. And then we get more shit. We get Scott versus Sting versus Jarrett in the main event that will get about 6 minutes, including entrances. I'm not fucking joking. And then he said, I made you guys and I can break you guys. That's a great thing to do. Piss off a guy that's absolutely crazy like Scott Steiner. Jeff Jarrett, who the fuck cares about him? So, Booker and Sting then attack, and this is 15 minutes. This is the first 15 minutes of the fucking show. Borash then joins commentary, because that's what we need. And I got nothing against Jeremy Borash, but he was playing Russo Brown-Noser at this point, and it was just very annoying. It wasn't as annoying as Mark Madden, but then again, almost nobody, maybe besides Josh Matthews, could be as annoying as Mark Madden on commentary. Sean Stasiak joins for this match as the Young Dragons with Lela and Meow versus above-average Mike Sanders, Mark Jindrak, and Sean O'Hare. Then Mike Tenay plugs the fact that the Stern Whack Pack are going to be judges for this Miss WCW 2000 Bikini Contest. Great, I'm at the point where the Whack Pack is going to show up, and I honestly am questioning why I'm still watching this. But why not? I only got 6 more months of programming, and I'm blitzing through a lot of it, because I got a lot of videos to cover, and I got a lot of reviews to do this month in October, so I'm just going to review this stuff whenever I want to endure it. And also, WCW 2000 is kind of funny to watch, as opposed to WWE 2020, where it's just kind of boring to watch. So, moving on. Borash keeps calling Russo Vinny Roo. That is where the nickname obviously came up. And then Leia Meow gets involved. She slaps her guys around. She's not in the match, but she does a crossbody on the Sanders and the ref counts it. So apparently people can just insert themselves wherever they want, gross, and win a match. I mean, and also, she had to take her freaking, high heel boots off, those zip-up boots, because I don't think she would have been able to stand up. I haven't made she could stand up at all with those. Those couldn't have been comfortable. But yeah, not in the match, hits a crossbody, pins Mike Sanders. Mike Sanders has been pinned by women on 2 consecutive shows. I wonder why Mike Sanders was considered a joke in WCW. Maybe that was the whole point. I don't know. Lava Lamp Lounge, awesome with Major Guns, Tory, Paisley, and Tigress, who will be in the Miss WCW 2000 Bikini Contest. And then Jay and Chiquita, Chiquita Banana, I actually have no idea. I've never heard of these women. I think they were apparently Nitro Girls. I have really no fucking clue who they are. And, oh wait, Mike Awesome's not going to be the judge of the Bikini Contest like he said he was, and the women destroy the set. Mike Awesome was made to look like a joke after having a pretty damn good debut about 5 months before this. And he was turned from the career killer to the fat chick thriller to that 70s guy. I hope that money was fucking worth it because this pretty much killed any credibility he had to U.S. audiences. And then, yeah, Scott yells backstage about the match that's going to happen later. We then get Russo versus the Masked Heel. It's a tune-up match. It's Stevie Ray underneath the mask. And we see that later. And then he slapjacks Russo in the ribs. And says, I would slapjack your skull, but I want to leave a piece of you for Booker. Okay, cool. That was an angle. That was an angle that they actually thought was a good idea. Now, I like seeing Stevie Ray on programming, but this was not good. And then the Filthy Animals yell about disco, and then we get Tory versus Paisley. Douglas and Kiwi join commentary. The match is barely getting going before a bridge pin, and Paisley gets the victory. Then Tigress attacks Shane. And then, Conan comes out to save the day, I guess. Whatever, it is what it is. Tory should have never been in the ring, and Paisley, bless her, should have never been in the ring either. And I mean, not that the women wouldn't have tried to be better, but they had no business being in the ring, and also WCW didn't care about their women at this point. We then get Team Canada here. Don't blame Canada. Join Canada. Duggan, you people forced me. He was going to throw down the American flag or throw it in the trash. MIA shows up, and Hugh Morris basically covers the flag and everything while they beat up his leg that they put a chair on and beat up on Nitro. Basically more of the same. Just a lot of the same bullshit. Duggan as a heel was not working. Though I give him credit for trying, it was not fucking working at all. And then Sanders gets a forklift and parks in front of Booker T's locker room. That's apparently something that they thought they should show, and they thought should happen. And then Stevie Ray versus Kronik, because this was punishment for Stevie Ray, and also Kronik was supposed to do the bidding, lay out Stevie Ray. They may have been told to lay out Booker also, but the forklift got in their way, so they were supposed to lay out Stevie Ray. And then, that rhymed, and I didn't even have the time. And also, they were supposed to lay him out with a chair, destroy him. They didn't do that. And then Russo yelled at him that he was going to fire them if they didn't do his bidding again. Ray versus Hoovy. It was fine enough. Disco apparently was kicked out of the Filthy Animals at this point by Conan. Good. Should have never been on WCW programming to begin with. Also, Tigress was on commentary. I don't know why I don't like Tigress, but she just annoys me to no goddamn end. And then a roll-up for 3. Hoovy wins. Apparently it was a contenders match, so the winner faces Elix Skipper for the Cruiserweight Championship. Or 100 kilograms and under championship. And then, Disco shows up, gets beaten up, and then humiliated, which is the only good use for Disco Inferno, who never belonged in the goddamn wrestling promotion ever. Fucking atrocious. The fact that Impact Wrestling brought him in recently, like within the last year or two, that was fucking embarrassing. Really fucking embarrassing. And then we get Sting yelling about Jeff Jarrett. It's showtime! And then we get 3 count versus the Harris Brothers. Barely gets started before Kronik, O'Hare, and Jindrak, the Young Dragons, Hoovy and Ray, and MIA show up. It's a Battle Royal preview because we're getting all these teams, I guess, plus a couple extra, in a Battle Royal match to determine the new tag team champions, because Ray and Hoovy got stripped when Disco basically lost the titles for them in a match against Ernest Miller on Nitro. No wonder Disco got kicked out of the goddamn group. And then a Tenay interview with Stacey Keebler. Why did they make Tenay an incredibly sexist guy? And I like Mike Tenay. I find him entertaining. I thought him and Don West were an incredible duo in Impact Wrestling. Well, TNA Impact Wrestling. Why did they decide to make him a sexist for absolutely no reason? Sure, Stacey sleeping with another guy and getting pregnant by another guy while heading on her way to the altar was maybe not the best storyline, or even a good storyline, or even a storyline that should have ever happened in wrestling. But why in the world they do that? And he says, hey, how many men is it, Stacey? Can we count them on one hand or 2? Jesus fucking Christ. What the hell were they doing with Tenay? And then, oh, she'll be a great mother and everything. And just, good grief. I mean, Stacey got fucking humiliated, and Tenay looked like he was having a blast at least, or maybe he was doing it through gritted teeth. I have no idea. This was very uncomfortable, to say the least, and we also didn't get an answer about who the father was. But Stacey's starting to show, so she won't be in the Bikini Contest. These pregnancy angles never fucking work. And then we get Russo joining commentary, and then we get Steiner yelling before the match, and then Sting versus Jarrett versus Steiner, 4 minutes. Oh, Booker and Russo are going to be in a cage heat match, and Russo said he will toss him off the goddamn cage to win. Even though you're supposed to win by escaping the cage, so technically if they got up there and Booker fell to the floor, he'd win. He'd probably die, but he'd win. And then Booker shows up at Sting, we get Scorpion and Russo, guitar, we get DQ, and we get all this bullshit, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Yay, I get to review Nitro after this. So yeah, Thunder really didn't mean all that much. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.